Welcome to 734 Games, and today we're playing Edge of Eternity by Midgar Studios. Now this game is done on the Unity engine, which unfortunately is not open source, but it's a decent engine. But they actually did a really good job of making a very graphical game with the Unity engine. And this game was actually published by Dear Villagers and Maple Whispering Limited. So those are the two publishers of Edge of Eternity. Now later on this game will be coming out, later on this year, this game will be coming out for the Xbox Series X on Gamespass and the PlayStation 5. So this game will be out for you guys on console very soon.
30 years ago, strange metal airships appeared in our skies. We didn't know who it was or what they wanted. Friendly at first, they shared their extraordinary technology with us. Harry prospered. For a time. But one day, they simply decided we weren't worthy of their favors anymore. They dealt the first strike, and Junor was obliterated overnight. Against such tremendous power, we realized how powerless we were. The remaining nations formed an alliance under the banner of the Consort, one that might stand a chance against them. After years of countless sacrifices and senseless slaughter, the tide began to turn. We began to hope again. Little did we know that our enemies were about to unleash their most terrible weapon. The corrosion.
Now, if you are a PC gamer on Windows or Mac, you're in luck. You can get this game directly from Midgar Studios from the Edge of Eternity website. I think through Facebook or one of their social media hubs. You can get this game for $24.99, which is $25. Now, if you want to get this game on Steam, it's only available on Steam for Windows right now, and it's $30. So it's $30. This game is right now in early access, so the PC gamers, being PC gamers, we have access to games before console gamers get them. Or if you want to just wait for this game, if you're a console gamer and you have or if you have both, you want to wait for this game to come out and you have a Gamespass subscription, you can grab this game on Gamespass for free.
Oversized two-handed swords, right? Who in their right mind would use such a stupid weapon? Some kind of insecure kid with a hero complex, no doubt. Or maybe some other kind of complex, if you catch my drift. Now, really, you can barely lift it off the ground, and by the time you haul it to your shoulder, your opponent's blade is already running through your chest.
Ordo, if we put your theory to the test, will that make you shut up?
I thought you'd never ask.
And because I didn't say this before, this is your host Tom, coming to you from 734 Games. And today we're playing Edge of Eternity. Now, I like to bring you content that isn't the big AAA content all the time. Sometimes I'll do a big AAA game if I feel the need to talk about a game. But usually I try to bring some of the more obscure content. And this is one of those games. And I hope you enjoy my content. Last week I showed you Observer by Bloober Team. And the week before that I did Remember Me by Dontnod, a really well acclaimed studio that does awesome, very well written story-driven games. And you should check out everything that Dontnod does if you like story, if you enjoy great stories, better than the stuff you're going to even see on Netflix or HBO Max. I mean, they are just a tremendous studio as far as story games. Now, the story in this game is actually pretty good, but the only drawback to the story is actually the dialogue. The dialogue could be a little bit better, and it's kind of generic. The dialogue's kind of generic. The story is epic, but the dialogue is generic. But the dialogue will not stop you from enjoying this game. Now, what you have is basically a turn-based strategy RPG. It's heavily influenced by Final Fantasy, but as far as the strategic elements are actually a little bit different. You can tell the strategic elements are probably from, more American RPGs or Western RPGs. Basically, you have tiles that you can move to and you can dodge. So that's a little bit different. It's a little bit more like, other old RPGs that you've probably played in the past. But what's here is very enjoyable. And you have a party like in Final Fantasy or like the old Ultimate games. You have a party, and you're going to lose people along the way. You're going to meet new people that are going to be a part of your party. And obviously, there's the main character. His name is Darian, and he's going to be the leader of your party in this game. Now, this game looks like it was done with the Unreal 4 engine, but it wasn't. It was actually done with the Unity engine. Now, the Unity engine is a free engine that that the developers can use for free. Of course, support they have to pay for, and it's not open source like the Unreal engine. So the community isn't quite as big, and a lot of the games look a lot more cartoony or a lot more indie or a lot more side-scroller or whatever, isometric. This game, that is not the case with Edge of Eternity. Edge of Eternity is very graphically beautiful. It has sort of an anime-ish art style, and I like it. Although I think that this is Midgar is more of a European developer, and I almost wish they would have went for like a more of a spaghetti western, RPG look. That's kind of cool. I like that, but I'm probably in the minority since most people are into the more anime-ish JRPG look, and this game is kind of heavily influenced by.
Bravo! Really nice, gentlemen. Now that you're properly warmed up, will you guys help us tidy up the storage room?
I didn't enlist to stack crates.
Come on, the punishment was for the whole platoon.
Face up to it, Syl. We're here because you questioned the commander's orders in front of everyone.
Don't be like that, Darian. One day, you and I will share everything. As husband and wife.
Still doing the clingy girlfriend routine, Syl? I thought Darian told you he wasn't interested.
Oh, but things have changed, buddy.
Would you mind getting back to work? We're supposed to be doing this together.
Things have changed? What changed?
And here I go, ignored as usual.
Darian has agreed to go on a date with me.
This again.
Wait, what? When?
She got me. I lost a bet, and she chose my punishment.
It's not a punishment. Spend 1 hour on a date with me, and you'll realize I'm a keeper. You'll be begging me for a second one.
Whoa! I guess congratulations are in order.
I'll play the game, but don't get your hopes up too high, Syl.
Oh, so this is where you guys are.
Hey, Kino!
I've got mail for you.
Did you bring sandwiches, too?
You wish, Fatso.
Choke on your mother's ashes.
Letter for you, Ordo.
Nice!
And one for you, Darian. Your sister, as always.
Thanks.
Sorry, nothing for you guys. Nobody loves you. Deal with it.
The usual.
Whew, it's cold out there. I'm gonna take 5. Man, I'm in no rush to go back to HQ. It's so tense over there right now. Everyone's on tenterhooks.
Why's that?
Dunno. Maybe they're getting worried too many people are deserting these days.
Nonsense. They know how to deal with deserters. Always have.
I heard something about mounting a large-scale counterattack. I don't know when it's supposed to happen, but... Hey, Darian, what's with the long face?
It's my mother. She caught the corrosion.
Man, that's rough. I'm sorry,
Shut up. In a situation like this, it's better not to say anything.
What are you gonna do?
Ask for leave, mate. Go to her. Commander Cora likes you. He might just let you.
It's been months since they gave anyone leave. Cora needs me. He won't let me go like that.
But it's your mother!
I know! But what choice do I have?
What's happening?
The Arcalites?
How did they find us?
The cavern's collapsing. Run!
What the hell happened here?
Kino! No, 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 no!
Above.
The Arcalites?
What are they doing here?
How did they find us? I thought the crystals were supposed to protect us! By the gods. How are we supposed to take this on?
They're sending the stalkers to finish the job. It's over. We're done for.
No, we're not done. We're not anywhere near done! Stay close, remember your training, and we'll make it out! The usual formation! Sandra, you cover us from the back! Guys, we'll shield Sandra and make sure nothing gets through! Ready?
Now, as I was saying earlier, this game is heavily inspired by JRPGs, although I would say that its European side does kind of shine through from time to time. It's a good game. I love JRPGs, and I like, Western RPGs as well, and so a lot of the cool European stuff like the Drakensang series. There's a lot of those games on PC. That's out of Germany. But the graphical style of this game looks pretty cool, and they've kind of like blended science fiction with fantasy, and I think that's an awesome look. And like I said, the graphical fidelity in this game is beautiful, and I'm sure that when you guys get this game on the Xbox Series X, on Gamespass and the PlayStation 5, that you're going to get a beautiful looking game. I do not see any reason why this game is not going to run at the required at least 60 frames per second 4K on the next gen consoles. This is not a hard game to run, and I mean it's a pretty game, but it's not so graphically intensive that your next gen consoles are going to have a hard time running this. So you're not going to need a 3070 to run this game. Although I'm sure this game would look beautiful. You probably blow up the image. When I look at the system requirements on Edge of Eternity's website, it says a 780 and a 780 minimum and a 980, was what you should have at least to run it at full specs. That's not a very those are old GPUs. And even when I look at the CPU department, the CPUs are pretty old. So this is not going to be a game that's going to be super hard to run. Now the developer, they've been working on this game for years. Like I said, I played this game years ago, and I knew it wasn't ready. This game is supposed to come out holiday season for the next gen consoles, so it may change a little bit, but I think what we're getting on the PC is pretty close to the finished product. And like I said, PC version is probably cheaper because I'm sure this game on the consoles is probably going to be at least $40. It could be more, and it wouldn't be a ripoff if you got this game for $50 on the console because Sony takes 30%. Microsoft, I think when it comes to games, like when it comes to physical games, they still take 30%. So getting this game at $50 would not be a ripoff. Now, I know a lot of your PlayStation games are $70 now. To me, that's a high for any game. And unless I was really, really serious about getting that game day one, I would probably buy a game used. I could not see paying $70 for Miles Morales or even a Demon's Souls remake. I mean, that to me is just insane. I don't know, but people pay that money for those games. That's fine. If that's your prerogative. If you have the money and you want to spend it on that, that's you. I'm not gonna berate you for that. That is your choice entirely. Now, while the dialogue is the weakest link in this game, the audio is not is actually pretty decent. The audio is definitely not a weak link. Like as far as the soundtrack, they probably spent more on musicians than they did on voice actors. But the game, now I haven't. The only thing I have not tried is changing the language for the spoken dialogue, because this game is a European game and Midgar is out of Europe. So maybe the European dialogue may be better than the English dialogue. But obviously this game was not made in England, and you can pretty much tell that it was not English, British voice actors. So I mean, it may sound, the game may be better with, you know, a different language setting for the game. No, I'm actually wrong about that. Full audio in this game is only in English. Everything else is subtitled, which is kind of weird. Now, when you go into towns in the game, you're not going to have fully voiced. Not all the NPCs are fully voiced, which is okay. But I mean, you do get like all the story is obviously fully voiced, but obviously the dialogue is kind of generic. Like I said, maybe they'll change some of the. Maybe they'll change that before the game comes out. That is something, but that would cost a lot of money. It's not that it would be hard for them to import new dialogue, but it would take a lot of money and time for them to do that, and I don't think they're going to change the dialogue very much. But what's here is a very strong game, and I'm pretty sure if you're into this style of gameplay, you're going to totally enjoy Edge of Eternity by Midgar Studios. What's here is really good. I just hope that next time they polish the dialogue a little bit better. But I'm totally all in on this game. And I was from the start. The concept of this game was really awesome, but it took them a long time to polish it. It's a small developer, a small team, and you know, when the game, you got just work on the game until it's done. Just don't put the game out until it's done, because we've got a lot of unfinished crap here in the gameverse, and you know, I'm sure most of us gamers do not want to play some unpolished piece of crap. Further along in the game, you're also going to get beast companions that'll fight along the side of you. You kind of saw them in that little cutscene at the beginning, so that's something else to look forward to in this game. There's just a lot to this game, and also the villains, the bad guys that you think are the bad guys at the beginning, are not the only bad guys, and may not be the real bad guys in this game. So I mean, there's an epic story here, and there's a lot to like. Check this game out. Definitely Edge of Eternity. Like I said, you can get it cheaper. You can get it if you're a PC gamer. You can get it cheaper than the console gamers. But you can, if you're on a console, you can wait, or you can get it on Gamespass.
Sindra. She. Blood and ashes.
We don't have a second to waste. We have to go to headquarters.
What are you saying? Sandra is dead! Without her, we don't stand a chance!
And that's why we need to go to the mountain. There are bound to be some priests or sorcerers alive there. So we'll go there and regroup. Let's go. And keep an eye out for survivors.
Damn it.
And I just looked it up. This game is also coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So if you have a last-gen console, you're not going to miss out on Edge of Eternity by Midgar Studios. This game is coming to the last-gen consoles as well. I think it'll look pretty decent on the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X. I have both of those consoles. I'm a person who could not get my hands on the latest consoles, just like everybody else. I'd get it in my cart, and it would get pulled by some bot. And I kind of think that these shortages are artificial, and I hear the SEC is looking in on some of these shortages, and I hope they do, because I really hate what's going on with the next-gen consoles. They're really hard to get a hold of.
Where's the air brigade? Where's the 5th contingent? What the hell are they doing?
If they're not here yet, then...
No! There's no way they've been wiped out! No way!
With what I just said earlier, I gotta give it to Microsoft. Getting games like this on Gamespass is really gonna help developers get funding, these small little indie developers, and it's also gonna do a lot for Gamespass, because you can get a game, like you can play this game for free on Gamespass, and you may have to pay $70 to get this game on the PlayStation 5 or $50 to get this game, or $60 to get this game on the PlayStation 4.
Please hold out!
No.
Don't look! Stay here. Stay with me and we'll make it.
No, 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 no! Help me! Somebody, help!
What is this?
Brace yourselves.
I was saying one reason I think that Gamespass is better for small developers is because Microsoft pays these small developers to get their games. Just like a lot of people were making fun of Epic Games because they lost money because they were giving developers money to give their games away for free on the Epic Game Store. The thing about that is that actually helps some of these projects get made. And what's better for the developers is generally better for the consumer, because you get games like this, it allows the developers to meet their vision, to actually make the game that they want to make. So I think in that arena, Microsoft is doing great. The only place there's a couple places that I might think Microsoft is kind of sucking at, really, and that is the scarcity of their console and just giving it to online retailers and not forcing the retailers to put it in the stores, and their DRM on the Xbox, and Sony's DRM too. Sony's DRM is kind of crappy too, because if you're buying a console, you want to be able to pop your game into that console. The whole thing about buying a console is you pop your game into that console and you can play that game anytime you want, regardless of if you have an internet connection. And that's something that Microsoft and Sony are kind of like, I don't know, it's like they want to get away from that. It seems like they want to kind of string you along forever and make you buy new hardware to play your old games, and that's kind of silly. So Microsoft is very susceptible to feedback from the community. So is Sony, to a lesser extent. So if you guys are listening, you should definitely, make your voices heard as gamers. Oh, and watch this video all the way through, because basically after the character dialogue, I put a little snippet of another scene in the game and of another area that'll show you what this game actually looks like, because this is actually a very beautiful game, and some of the other areas are, just gorgeous. This is a gorgeous game, and you definitely need to see what this game looks like if you're not convinced about buying this game already. That's it.
Thank the gods, you're safe.
There's no time to lose. You must take me to the headquarters, quickly. They're waiting for me to conduct the ritual. We can fight back and smite these wretched Archelites. We can win this war. I can win this war. But I need you to take me to the mountain right now.
That's exactly where we're going.
Good, good, good. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
And that's it for this episode of 734 Games. And this is your host, Tom, signing off from 734 Games, where gaming is alive.